Is it possible to slow down time in your body, reverse aging, and extend the length of your life by 10, 20, or more years, even with a cancer or Alzheimer's diagnosis? One doctor says it is, and it's not because he's found the fountain of youth. He's worked with over 10,000 patients and developed a system that consistently delivers predictable results. Recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award from President Barack Obama and author of 4 books, Dr. Ben Johnson is teaching people all around the world his secret to doubling your remaining life expectancy. I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of people, but nobody with your credentials. So you've earned the Lifetime Achievement Award from the President, been featured in the movie The Secret and the book. You walked away from 2 unrelated helicopter crash landings, and you've earned not 1, 2, or 3 doctorates. And that's the beginning. So you seem to have superhero capabilities, and I want to know, what's the story with the helicopter, and how's that work into your story?
Well, you use the cape to fly over the buildings, Mike.
Right.
Actually, I run around them now. I don't jump over them anymore. The helicopter stories, they were both maintenance errors. and what we want to do is defy aging, and to do that, we have to do proper maintenance. So it's all about maintaining and stopping aging now, because we have amazing technology now. 10 years from now, it will be even better. But right now, we can slow down, stop aging, about 10 years worth.
Okay. And so at the time, getting back to the helicopter side, so the first time was maintenance and the second time was maintenance?
They were both maintenance issues. A fuel line hadn't been properly attached, so that the helicopter literally ran out of fuel. It was my own helicopter. And it's definitely deafeningly silent when that engine stops. Helicopters are very noisy, and when it stops, it's like, it's very quiet.
Right, and you're most likely thinking to yourself, how can I buy more time? How can I buy more time?
Oh, like, I'm about to die.
Okay. So you don't have that much time to think about it.
And it's like, what could I do to get a little more time here? Because you're seconds away from whatever's about to happen.
Total disaster. All right, so I know we're going to come back to the helicopter in a little while, because there's a great metaphor here, but why don't you tell people a little bit about your backstory, what got you into medicine in the first place, and what got you to where you are right now?
My father always said, be a doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief, and I didn't know that I could be an Indian chief. I grew up in the land of the Cherokee, and lawyers were kind of the butt-end of jokes, so I said, doctor it is. So I was the doctor in the 6th grade play, and the 9th grade play, and the 12th. That's all I ever wanted to be, was the doctor. And so I did. I after the Vietnam War, I went to medical school, and it's been onward and upward there. I practiced general medicine for 15 years, and then started on my own age-defying, death-defying journeys.
Yeah, you had ALS.
I did. Before I had ALS, I had a spinal cord injury and was unable to work. Because of that, it kind of sidelined me, and I was just helping a friend in their clinic just do paperwork, but all the patients were asking about this herbal, this nutritional, this homeopathic, and I realized that you could heal the body without drugs. And so I actually went back and got my naturopathic medical degree. So that was a major event. And then the other one that you mentioned, ALS, I was diagnosed with ALS in 2003. So again, you're looking at death in the face, and it's like, I don't know anybody that survives this. I've now met about 20 other people who have survived ALS.
Because that is not a survivable disease.
Not supposed to be, so I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, so very lucky. Well, that leads us to the work that you're doing right now, and you brought a couple props with you. So why don't you explain what this is and what you're doing now that is helping you produce longevity in your patients, but also repair some previously unrepairable things.
You know, we want to defy age, and that starts on a daily basis. You can never negate the basics: water, food, exercise, thought-filled, living life properly, living your life in love. But, you know, there are medical things that we can do. So this is a blood tube, a special blood tube that's designed to separate out the blood components that we want.
All right.
And then this is an optical light system that we use to activate VSELs. They're called very small embryonic-like cells. And they simply do amazing things in the body. They can rejuvenate organs. They can restore health in many facets, in many areas. So I worked with a patient who lived north of Calgary a few weeks ago.
And that was the stroke patient.
That was the stroke patient.
Right.
He hadn't left hemiplegia, so left facial droop, left arm, left leg. Right side is stroke, so the opposite sides of the brain control the other side. And so he hadn't moved his hand above his waist in 3 years. And so it's not magic. Actually, the body's healing itself. We're just helping direct it.
Right.
So we got his VSELs, his very small embryonic-like cells.
So you basically took out some blood,
harvested them, activated them, and that's make them start growing and make them sticky.
Yep.
And then we aim the light where we want it to go. In this case, it was his brain. And so then the VSELs stick there as they flow through the blood.
Right.
And then they do what they do.
So it's almost like you're training them and pointing them in the right direction.
Exactly. Otherwise, stem cells, it's like herding cats. This is a way to get them to go where you want them to go and stay there.
Right. And you have a little video about what happened next. So explain what happened next, because you've got some video that we're going to play for our viewers, but explain how long it took to actually see some results.
So I finished working with him about 11 o'clock that morning. I think it was around 8 that evening. His wife called me up quite excited and said, he just raised his arm above his head.
Everything on the left side. My left arm is numb all the time. I can't use my hand very well.
Can you lift your arm for me, Mike? How high?
And so 3 years, he hadn't moved his arm above his waist.
Yeah.
And within hours, now that's a miraculous result. And we don't always get the miracle. We just about always get results. 80% of the people that we do this with get significant results. But he was one of that got near miraculous results. I mean, to move your arm above your head when you hadn't done that in 3 years, that's...
With something that is available right now, you're able to practice this. And again, you've supported lots and lots of patients. So let's talk about the police chief of Tijuana, because you have another unbelievable example. It's, again, near miraculous. But why don't you explain what happened here?
Well, he was doing too good of a job with the drug cartel there, and so they shot him. The bullet went through his spinal cord, cut it in half. So he hadn't walked in years, and within 2 treatments of these very small embryonic-like stem cells, he was riding a bike again and had significant use of his legs.
Okay.
So just some amazing things can happen that your body can do if provided the right resources, its own resources actually, because these VSLs are in your own body. We're just learning how to activate them and make them go where they need to go.
Okay. And also, something else happened, which he ended up running for mayor of Tijuana.
and just lost by maybe a couple of thousand votes or something. You always wonder.
You can't help the elections, so you can help the bodies, but not those. But you've also had some other remarkable luck with the professor of physiology at Harvard. So why don't you tell that story?
So this is a professor of medical physiology, and he had a a barometric injury diving some years back.
Okay, Great Barrier Reef is what you told me.
Yeah. And so he had a lot of loss of function for like 4 decades. So this wasn't last week or last year.
Wow.
So this was a lifetime injury. And after giving him the stem cells, the first thing he felt again was pain. Now you think, oh, that's not good, he feels pain. No, he loved it because he hadn't felt anything for 4 decades. So pain, getting motion back, getting use of muscles back, and that's a process. It takes a while, but the kind of results that your body is able to create with these very small embryonic-like stem cells can be simply phenomenal.
Even with a long-standing injury.
Even with a long-standing injury.
Okay, so why don't you talk a little bit about the distinction? This kind of brings us back to the whole helicopter metaphor here. So, some people might think that this is only for older people. Some people have long-standing injuries, but a big part of what you work on is longevity too. So why should someone start working with you now? And what kinds of diseases or health challenges can this work with that you've seen benefits for?
Mike, there's only one disease. Aging, okay? Now, we've been talking about fixing broken parts. We don't want to fix broken parts. We want the parts not to break. Mm-hmm. And that's all part of my life extension program, getting people to doing the right things, taking the right herbs, the right nutritionals, doing the right things all along so that they don't break, so that we don't have to try the big fixes. They don't fall out of the sky and have to do a crash landing. Hopefully you walk away from those, but maintenance is the key, and doing things preventatively. We can get about 10 years, right, with the things in our tool belt right now, we can get about 10 years of life, of additional quality life. In 10 years, we're going to be able to get another 10 years. So when do you want to stop aging? Do you want to stop aging when you're 70 or when you're 50?
Right.
Well, I'd rather stay at 50 than at 70.
Right on.
And, we can slow it down dramatically. We can even stop it to some degree significantly. Yeah. But you want to reverse aging or slow aging, stop aging as soon as you can. So it's a now thing.
Right.
Rather than a wait till I'm old thing. Why would you wait till you're old to stop aging?
Right. Well, I think there's an old saying, it goes something like, a man with his health has 1,000 dreams, and a man without has but one. And you could, of course, insert man or woman there. So how can someone learn more about you, get your books, and connect with you to learn more about your longevity program?
Well, my website, Dr. Ben MD, so drbenmd.com. Mm-hmm. And
I know you've got an email set up just for, it's at info@drbenmd.com, and that way they could either book you to speak at their organization, hire you as a keynote speaker, or again, learn more about how they can work with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for being here today. And the next step is yours to take, which is, again, head on over to drbenmd.com or send an email to his clinic right now at info@drbenmd.com. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Mike.